This is a research proposal for APN 610. My name is Lauren Diapoli. Do females with symptoms of Candida overgrowth experience more sugar-addictive behavior than those with balanced gut bacteria? Candida typically lives normally in the human body and intestinal tract, but it is a powerful and opportunistic fungal pathogen. If overgrown in the intestines, Candida results in an imbalance in gut bacteria, increasing the risk of development of chronic illnesses. This is significant because there are numerous negative health reactions positively associated to Candida overgrowth. They include, but are not limited to, improper digestion, insulin resistance, development of chronic diseases, cardiovascular heart disease, cancer, and diabetes, obesity, and life-threatening bloodstream infections. This is also significant because Candida overgrowth is the most frequent healthcare care-associated infection. Most women suffer at least once in their life from a vaginal yeast infection, and up to 8% of women have recurring infections. If Candida enters the bloodstream, it results in candidemia, which results in the increased risk of morbidity and mortality. Despite advances in pharmaceutical treatment for Candida infection, mortality rates associated with systemic infections are still very high. The purpose of this study is understanding the dietary habits of individuals who have imbalanced intestinal flora, which can help nutrition and medical professionals prevent infection and spot it more quickly. Pinpointing the dietary patterns associated with Candida overgrowth can provide us preventative strategies. The hypothesis is that individuals with symptoms of Candida overgrowth will experience a higher rate of sugar cravings and sugar-addictive behavior. Research regarding Candida overgrowth acknowledges that Candida infections in the intestines can lead to numerous health complications. There is existing research that focuses on the pharmaceutical treatment of Candida infections, but rates of mortality have not significantly lowered. A study published by the Public Library of Science found that an overabundance of Candida was positively associated with diets high in carbohydrates, but negatively with high intake of proteins and fatty acids. Current research also relates sugar addiction to paternal history of substance dependence, genetics, and brain chemistry reception, but it does not yet determine the causes of those conditions. Studies done on females with recurring yeast infections strictly relate to pharmaceutical antifungal drugs. The research regarding Candida overgrowth is mainly limited to severe cases of infection in immunocompromised individuals and hospitalized patients. Previous studies do not look at the behaviors of individuals with intestinal imbalances and how that relates to sugar-addictive behaviors, but instead they use fecal sample analysis. Seeking a link between Candida overgrowth to the presence of sugar cravings, an 8-question, 5-point Likert-style scale survey will be used. The survey will consist of 4 questions regarding sugar cravings and 4 questions involving Candida symptoms. The survey link will be posted to a Facebook account with 1,600 randomly added friends from around the world. Only female volunteers will be asked to complete the survey. The Likert-style survey will be posted on surveyhero.com. It will begin with informed consent letter introducing the researcher and discussing the purpose of the study. The consent letter will also inform the study participants that their responses will remain anonymous. Here are the 4 questions regarding sugar-addictive behavior. On each one, it references the last 6 months on an average day. The answer options are a Likert-style scale ranging from never, not frequently, occasionally, very frequently, to always. These are the 4 questions regarding Candida overgrowth symptoms. Again, they reference the last 6 months and use the same options for answers, ranging from never to always. The limitations of this survey are that the individuals being surveyed are not actually a full representation of the entire population, because they're all Facebook users who have internet access. This will be considered when analyzing the data. To clear up subjects' confusions, timeframes were placed on all of the questions, as I had mentioned, and a list of sugary foods and beverages will be included in the informed consent letter. There is also a risk of self-misdiagnosis, but the survey questions are worded as directly as possible to avoid this. This is done by using only female participants because they're typically more equipped to diagnose the question regarding yeast infection due to female anatomy. Using symptoms acquired from an extensive literature review, the questions regarding Candida and intestinal imbalances were developed. One question regarding antibiotic use refers to the studies that have proven use of antibiotics to be a leading cause of Candida overgrowth. The data collected will be put into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. The sum of the 4 Candida-related questions will be added and averaged to get the mean for each participant. The sum of the 4 sugar-related questions will then be added together and averaged as well. Here is a small sample of what that looks like, showing the Microsoft Excel formula for average, which would be computed for each subject's question 1 through 4 and each subject question 5 through 8, giving us 2 data sets. The central tendency will be found from the mean comparison of questions 1 through 4 against questions 5 through 8. The standard deviation will be calculated to test the variability. The standard error will be determined to measure the precision of the results. The standard deviation will also be squared to find the variance. A Spearman's rank test will be done to demonstrate the degree of relationship between the 2 ordinal data sets. The analysis of the data will display whether or not there is a strong relationship between symptoms of Candida overgrowth and sugar-addicted behavior. If a strong relationship is determined, we can accept the research hypothesis. And here are a list of my references used in this presentation. I thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have a great day.